So I'm gonna just go through inspection of the hives. I'm gonna use my smoker today. I got this cool to the touch so it doesn't harm the bees. Just gonna do a normal inspection. I'm gonna start with the middle one first. The smoke just makes them less aggressive. They feel in natural habitat that there's a fire, so they want to gorge on the honey, and that's more of their concern. So been using that a lot this time of year. And just with the wings, they'll draft that right through their hive, and I'll put a little in the top when I get through it. But my other thing I'm going to use a lot today is just the straight sugar water. Some places I want them to feed off and walk on frames in an area that they haven't built up or drawn out the comb much. So, and that's a treat for them. So again, that's a way to keep them less active. This box is pretty full. I started this about 2.5 months ago from a swarm. These swarm, we captured them in a box. It literally was the queen and about 1,000 bees, and they have developed into this, which is exciting to see. And I'm just gonna smoke them and they'll just disappear right down into the hive. They just wanna get away from that. So that helps me to save a lot of my bees, not killing the bees. So again, I'm gonna just take a couple of frames out here, and I'm very happy. Again, this started out to be nothing. I just put this top box on here 3 weeks ago, and just by looking down in here, it's impressive. These frames, not only have they taken a blank frame and filled it with wax in all tubes, they are filling it with honey, and this first one is impressive already. This is capped honey, and this frame right here is probably about 10 pounds. The very top is capped honey. Everything else is honey on this, but the capped honey is on top. That means it's sealed, it's the proper temperature, it's ready to go for harvest. The other, they're still working on. But that is absolutely amazing to me. Later on, I'll show you an empty blank frame to compare, but this just 3 weeks ago was a blank frame. There was nothing on it. That is just amazing. I'm gonna have to definitely put another box on this one, which makes me happy. But I'm gonna split a couple more of these, but you know, my thought was to spray some sugar water on them, but I mean, they have it drawn out. Normally they start in the center and draw out to the ends. They've drawn it out to the ends already. They propolis this very, very well. That's the natural glue that they use. They'll kind of regurgitate this and seal up every little. This is a plain frame. That is what they took and filled out and packed in all that honey. That's a plain one. That's the very last one that they got to draw. So that's plain. That's a plastic frame, and that's one that I'll spray some sugar water and get them on there. This doesn't harm the bees. It's just the sugar water. You know, the combination of the water and the sugar, both they'll drink up and use right on these frames. See some bees working in between the frames. You can see some of the bees. I don't know how well you can be close up, but that's all wax and fresh honey they're building on. They, as you can see, got very docile when I smoked them. They went down into their hives and just started working away. With this one, I put a frame in that had some honeycomb hanging off a different frame that I tied in there to get hopefully a piece with natural honeycomb, no foundation in. They have maxed this out It's tough this time of year. It's almost wasted if I put another box on here and if it's not full and capped of honey. So really with this one, I'm just seeing if it's worth putting another box on or having them fully work on completing capping off honey in here. You know, I haven't really had to worry about this one at all. Look at it. So I really just looking at the space issue on this one. And I can already tell there really isn't any. Already on this outer one, you know, they've got it drawn out already. Just tons of bees working. And that's the outer one, so that's the last spot they got to really work on. So I'm super excited because not only did they, I mean, to understand this, I have in the class, I have two other pieces that I have that were identical. I tied one of these on here last week, and this is truly amazing. This piece was maybe an inch long, or I'm sorry, an inch deep, I guess you would say, and about 10 inches long. And this is what they did in a week. All of this is foundationless. This up on here is a piece of comb that I took from another hive, and I just strapped it and strung it on here a couple of times. This is so amazing to me. This all here is just, they built that and filled that all within a week. There's no plastic, there's no pressed honeycomb in the middle of there. That's just them. That is really cool. We could literally, that's a nice square piece of honeycomb that someone could have someday. And that's just amazing that they did that in a week. All right, I'm just gonna basically close this up.